Alright, so once you have this part of your farm built, you can move on to the next step. So like I said, you're going to have this monostable circuit in place, going over to this piston right here, with your lapis lazuli and redstone block down beneath, and this piston down here to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ready to line this up. What we're going to do is we're going to come one block beneath that redstone block, and we're going to come over just like this, and we're going to come up a block just like that, and we're going to take this block out, which our dispenser is up there. We're going to place a block just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place redstone dust right there, put a repeater right there, and then redstone dust there again just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come off the side of this one, and we're going to come up a block just like that, and then come over a block just like that, and put redstone dust on top of all that. That will go ahead and make this piston push this circuit back up when it is being pushed down, so it'll just push it one tick later, making it to where the whole system does get reset. Now what we need to do is we actually need to send a second pulse into this dispenser, because now it's going to go ahead and dispense the water, but what we need to do is we need to retract the water as well. So how we're going to do that is we're actually going to come off this block just like that. We're going to come across 3 blocks just like so. We're going to come up a block just like that. And actually we can leave these corner blocks in there. You don't need them, but I'm going to leave them in there just because it does make it easier. And so we're actually going to use this block right here like that. There we go. Come across 2, go up 1, come across 2 more, go up 1, go ahead and come across 3, come up 1, come across 2, come up 1 more, come across 1, come up 1, and then you're going to go straight over like this. Just like that. There we go. Okay, and it should come up back to that block right there. So again, we're going to go ahead and go over this again. Okay, so from this block right here that you guys already have put, we're going to come out 3 repeaters. 1, and they're all going to be on 4 ticks. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Block. 1 repeater. 4 ticks. Block. 2 repeaters facing in this direction, if you can get by that hopper there. See if we can get that there. Okay, so 2 more repeaters. Block. 2 more repeaters on 4 ticks, block, 3 repeaters. Okay, there we go, all on 4 ticks there. Okay, block, 2 more repeaters, block, and they all got to be, and another repeater, and then 2 blocks up like this, and no more repeaters. We're going to run redstone dust into it just like that. Now, the cool thing is that this redstone dust is activating this, but it will not run backwards. Same thing with this. This redstone dust will be activating this block, but will not be able to continue the circuit, because otherwise you would have a continuing circuit that would constantly go round and round and round and round and round, and it would never stop. So we need to have redstone dust running into a block with redstone dust on the other side to make it to where it does not come through. Redstone dust powering a block cannot power more redstone dust. You can only power a repeater with redstone dust running into a block. So little redstone tip there for those of you that didn't know that. So that is your harvesting circuit all done. So if you see here, let's see if we have our water in our dispenser. I believe we do. Let's see if we have that in there. Yes, we do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and simulate this thing being harvested just to show you guys this thing works. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this redstone torch, and we're going to break it, and we're going to place it back down. So if you see that right there, it should harvest as soon as we place it back down. So it's going to harvest. Okay, there we go. And then in a second, it's going to retract the water. Alright, so as soon as your farm does this, you may move on to the next step. Unless your farm does not do this, you need to fix something and probably rewind this video and re-watch how I built this circuit again, and then you can move on to the next step. Alright, your farm is nearing the end. You have 4 circuits in here. We have a timer, we have a lockdown system, we have an anti-lockdown system, and a harvesting system. So, what's next? It seems like we're almost done. But the issue is that this harvesting system isn't always accurate. Sometimes the items that are planted in here actually do bounce up and hit this tripwire, which will reactivate the farm, making the farm think that a villager just came in and replanted the farm, which is what we don't want. We want this farm to realize that it's being harvested, and in order to do that, we're going to have to install another circuit. This circuit, we're going to go ahead and use green terracotta, not lime green. It's going to be regular green, kind of like a dark green. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to make it to where this farm cannot be reactivated if the items do fly up and hit the tripwire. We cannot stop that from happening, but what we can do is we can actually remove this piston out of place, making it to where it cannot be activated. So we're going to go ahead and put a sticky piston on that half slab that we put there earlier earlier, right above the piston that actually does activate the farm. So as you can see, right above that piston there, we're going to be putting a sticky piston on top of that, guys. So let me go and replace that there. Alright, so now we need to figure out how to power this thing, which we're going to be doing with these dark green blocks. So we're going to come over here to this redstone here that's part of this blue circuit here. We're going to come right off the back redstone right here, and that redstone there is going to invert that torch. From there, we're going to go ahead and come up another block with the redstone torch on that block right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come on the side of that block there and put another block up here just like that. We're going to put a repeater on this face right here, and we're going to put that on 4 ticks. Every single repeater in this circuit is going to be put on 4 ticks, FYI. Alright, now we're going to put another redstone torch there, another block up top, another redstone torch there, and then from that point on, we're going to be running 6 more repeaters. So we're going to come off just like that. We don't need that block there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And then what we need to do is we actually need to come out 1 more block, come down just like that, and we're going to come across just like that. So you can break that one out. So you have this kind of like backwards C shape with your bar in the middle. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and place repeaters all along that. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place redstone on this one right here. Some of you guys might be asking, well, you can place redstone right here, but that's actually going to mess with this circuit right here, which these are 2 different circuits. These are not talking to each other. So in order to keep them from connagling with each other, we need to put the redstone down here, which is powering this block, which no longer messes with this system. So now what we can do is we can come down here and we're going to place 3 more blocks down like that. 1, 2, 3. We can break this one back over here. We don't need that one, and we're going to put 3 more repeaters in just like this. Let's go 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. There we go. Alright, so now at the time in which the farm is actually activated, it will allow this to actually push that redstone block, and then within the amount of time that it actually takes to deactivate, it will pull that piston out of place. So any further activity that is done within the farm during the actual time that it is growing, this farm will not be reactivated for whatever reason, because when this farm actually reaches all this redstone right here, it pushes this back, which, as you guys know, I explained that earlier, it does reset the entire timer, which when it's coming back down, we don't want, even if the villager is still stuck in there, we don't want the villager to reset the farm, because that's going to make it take longer to do. So this piston right here will retract that piston, making it to where it can no longer get reset. So now your farm is pretty much done. This is pretty much it, guys. The rest of it is all decoration and filling in the rest of the farm. Now that's just the module. This is just the module done. You got to remember, guys, we actually have the whole farm that comes out here as well. So go ahead and get this green circuit all built up, and once you have that done, we can move on to the next step. Alright, so this farm is nearing completion. So, you have 5 circuits all in place. You have this lockdown circuit, the purple circuit here. You have the anti-lockdown lime green circuit here. You have the timing circuit, the yellow circuit right here. You also have the harvesting circuit, the blue circuit right here. And the anti-resetting when harvesting circuit, the green one right here. So, that's all 5 circuits all in place. Now what you need to do is you actually need to load up the timer with some items. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this top chest right here. We're going to go ahead and get a bunch of stone. You can put any item that you want as long as it stacks to 64, and just put a full double chest in there, just like this. Oop, just like this. Here we go. There we go. We'll just fill that whole thing up. Okay, so if you are confident that you've built this thing correctly and you're ready to have this thing actually be a farm, I'm going to ask you guys right now to go ahead and test it before moving on to the next step. Because like I said, we do have farm area out here that we're going to need to do, but while that's going, we can actually test this thing. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is break out your wheat seeds or any other vegetable that you guys want to plant, and go ahead and hit that tripwire there. Go ahead and hit it nice and early in the system, and go ahead and let it show you guys that it does take about a minute for the lockdown system to actually get in place. Another thing too is if you're right here on the string, as a player, it is very hard to actually plant anything because the string is right in your way. So I suggest doing it from the side like I am doing right here, just to give you guys a little tip. because that's a little bit annoying. When I first built this farm, I was like, I can't plant anything. But so there. So now that that's planted, we're going to go ahead and let that go and make sure that this harvests and grows up the way it's supposed to. And then also after it goes in lockdown mode, I'm going to make sure that it will go into anti-lockdown mode, letting the villager out. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and move on to the next step. We're going to break out our wood slabs and get ready to start placing blocks. Alright, so once you've gone ahead and planted your farm, it is now being tested. You've went ahead and tripped the tripwire, and this thing is now acting as if it's being planted by a villager. So, what I'm going to recommend you do is you go ahead and lay out the rest of your farm. You should lay out the other 3 of these on all other 3 sides for 4 sides in total. So, I'm not going to be building a 4th one of these. You guys can go ahead and rewind the video, re-watch this video to go ahead and rebuild the other 4, just like we have over here, because we have 4 modules in total. And as you can see, we're going to need to know where these modules are in order to place in the rest of the dirt and all the minecarts that go beneath it. So you're going to have to lay this out before we move on to the next step. So go ahead and rewind this video a couple times, build yourself a couple of these. They don't take that long to make. It's more of a process of actually gathering all the materials, but now that you've built one of them, you can build 3 more in a short amount of time, so that shouldn't be too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay out my farm with this glowstone, or not the glowstone, but the the sea lanterns here. I'm going to go ahead and lay out my farms with the sea lanterns, simulating where they would be in the other 3 areas. Also, just as a quick side note, I forgot to tell you guys in the tutorial that you will need a block in that hopper right there. You will need some type of a block to go in that hopper to power that comparator. That is part of the lockdown system. I was wondering what was taking so long with this guy actually not locking down, but I have actually went ahead and put an item in there, which the reason why that is because, like I said, this torch needs to remain off. It was locking this hopper, not allowing items to go in the system. But as you can see now, items are now starting to flow in, so we're good to go. So, as you can see now, I have laid out the rest of my farm. The rest of my farm here is just a basic layout. You should have 4 of these modules, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on all 4 sides. And as you can see, I've marked out the middle where the dispensers go, so you can go ahead and do that yourself. Now what we should have is we should have these corners in a 9x9 area. As you can see, we have 3, 6, 9. Then we also have right here, we have 3, 6, and 9. So we have this 9x9 area, which is perfect for water. As you know, water will hydrate land up to 4 blocks away from itself. So therefore we have these diamonds that come down here, which makes it really easy to lay out the farm. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to lay down the wood that goes beneath the farm. This wood is going to be there for all the minecart rails that go on top of it that collect all the items on this part of the farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to come 2 blocks below dirt level. So here's dirt level, here's another block, and now we're going to come 2 blocks below. So we're going to come down here so there's an airspace between the dirt and our wood. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and fill in this entire area. So you should go ahead and fill in the entire X along all 4 legs of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll catch you guys when I get this completed. Just as a side note, you are going to go ahead and block off all this redstone on your modules all right here. You're going to go and block all this off and just bring that all the way around just like so. And you're going to miss that area, bring that around just like that. And you can even skip that area just so you know that you can't put a minecart track right there. And actually, to be honest with you, you can't put a minecart track anywhere near these slime blocks. So you're not going to be able to place a minecart track there, or there. So just go ahead and get rid of those blocks right now, and we'll go ahead and keep those in mind. And what we'll do is we'll actually mark those off so we don't fall through with maybe a half slab or something. So we can actually go like that, take a half slab, we're going to place that there, place that there, and place that there, so we can actually not place any rail of any sort on that area. And then that one there is redstone there, so there we go. So you're gonna have to build this type of structure around each and every one of these slime block areas, because otherwise what will happen is when this thing communicates, it will lift up the rails that we're going to be placing on the wood. So you guys can kind of see how that would be possible. So just go ahead and make sure you don't put any rails right there. Alright, so I've got all my wood in place, and as you can see I've also put carpet on top of our sea lanterns there just to make that well known. And then also, if you look, our farm is now in lockdown mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and test it out, make sure that if a villager wasn't here, it would go ahead and let them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this glass right here, and we're going to go ahead and click this, and as you can see it does open. It should open for about a minute. And we're going to go ahead and replace this glass right here and go back to what we're doing. So in about a minute, this thing should close back down if it was built correctly. So I suggest you go ahead and test your farm out as well too. And now that we're done with here, the next step to do is actually place in the areas in which our water will be needing to go to hydrate our farms. So what I'm going to suggest you do is you grab your dirt block, because you can grab a shovel and they come out very easily. These are all going to be temporary for right now, because you're not going to actually be placing in the dirt for your farm just yet. We still have a lot to do. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to come out in a diamond shape just like this. So we're going to come out in a diagonal just like that. We're going to come out 4 blocks just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th one here, we're actually going to put, let's go ahead and use a sea lantern, because that's what we've been using. Let's go ahead and use that. There we go. The 5th one will be a sea lantern just like that. So we'll go ahead and bring 4 more down here. That's 2, 3, 4. Break these right here. Now, if that sea lantern was water, this would represent the amount of area that this farm would hydrate. Now, you can come off this corner just like this. It'll hydrate everything from there, and it'll hydrate everything to here. Alright, so just to give you guys a visual example of what this one water space will cover, it will cover that much. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to come down here and get the next one. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is a sea lantern. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and break all these just like that. There we go. Alright, and then again, this one right here will cover up to here, just like so. It'll cover that area, and it'll cover this area. Alright, so now as you can see, we have these 2 triangles here which are still not hydrated yet. So in order to hydrate these, we're going to come down here off this apex right here, come across 2 regular blocks, and then the 3rd one is going to be a sea lantern just like that. Okay, and I suggest you guys place sea lanterns. Don't break out your water buckets yet, or whatever other block you want to use. Go ahead and use whatever block you want, but go ahead and use a regular block, not water just yet. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come off 2 more blocks just like that. Then the 3rd one is a sea lantern just like so. Alright, so that should look just like this. Now if this is all skeletoned out just like this, if we take out all these blocks, it looks a little bit like a sword. So I'm going to go ahead and put a screenshot up of what my farm looks like after I've got all these in place. Okay, and I'll go ahead and let you guys see that after we're done here just really quick. Let me go ahead and break all these up here real quick. Now we actually need to put 1 more water source in. Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. That's going to go ahead and cover that area. And then we actually need to put 1 more right here in the center to cover this block right here. So that's actually going to be a sea lantern right there. Okay, so that's actually going to be water there too. And so yeah, this whole thing should look like a little bit like a sword now. So if you look up like this, okay, looks kind of like a sword. Okay, now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and post my screenshot up of what this whole farm looks like when I have everything in. Alright, so once your farm has this look, you are ready to move on to the next step. Now, another thing too, before you move on, you can see my farm has already harvested. We're going to go ahead and take a look down here to see how many items we got, because as you guys remember, this is the hoppers that collect everything. And there we go, we get 51 wheat from 1 harvest on this thing, so that's awesome. So as you can see, this whole thing does work, and let's see if it's actually been reset actually. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here. So yeah, it looks like the whole thing's been reset. The redstone block is back. All this is done. Let's see, this should have no items in it, and that should have all the items in there. There they are, and they're still being pumped in there. As you can see, they're still being loaded, and that will finish itself up. But that thing is all done and dusted. Awesome. So now, if your farm is doing the same thing this one is, you know you've built it correctly. So go ahead and make sure you test all of these farms before you continue building this thing. So go ahead and test all of these, and then we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of the farm. Alright, now it is time to actually put in your minecart rails, in which you're going to have to take out all this dirt. So go ahead and take this dirt out, all the dirt, leave the sea lanterns in there, or whatever block you chose, and just delete all these blocks here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and catch you guys when I finish that up. Alright, so once all the dirt is cleared out of your farm, you are left with all these prismarine lanterns. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to come here to the very center and come down here beneath this lantern and place a solid block. We're also going to knock out all 4 blocks on each side. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and cover these. Let's go ahead and cover these up like this, just like that, here temporarily, okay, so we can go beneath with our hoppers and have them pointing straight down. So we're going to go like this on all 4 sides, pointing those down, just like that, and then we can actually break these blocks. We don't need those are just temporary, and place that one back in there. There we go, just like that. There. Alright, so that's our unloading system. Now, we're going to go ahead and put powered rails on all 4 sides, just like that. So that one block there in the middle is going to be our power block that's going to be powering all of these rails. So go ahead and get that done, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys how this links up with the rest of the track. Alright, so once you have this laid out here, the next step that we're going to do is actually start the rails. Now, the way this works is that every rail facing in this direction, this rail is going to go ahead and take off to the right. Same thing with this one. This one's going to take off to the right, this one's going to take off to the right, and this one's also going to take off to the right. So, when we're actually lining these up, it's actually hard to keep these things to keep them from finagling with each other, because as you guys know, when mine tracks are placed next to each other, they want to connect. So, to keep that from happening, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring these down just like that, and bring them down all just like that. We're going to make these little candy canes, if you will, just like that on all 4 sides to keep these things from messing with each other. So we're going to go ahead and do that just like that. Bring this one around, one more, just like so, and there we go. Okay, so once you have that, now we can continue on with the rest of the rails. Alright, once you have this configuration, you can go ahead and pick any side. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and pick one side, and we're going to go ahead and bring this back and forth like this. Now, as you can see there, we did have an issue with that. Let's go ahead and bring that over here, and then you can place this rail back, just like there. So if you have issues with that, sometimes you just got to play with them a little bit. Now, you are going to need some powered rails in here, but I like to go back and forth with regular rails first. You can do what you please, but this way I can actually tell where the middle of the minecart track is, because as you can see, this block here, we can't actually get a rail on there, and so the middle of it would be thrown off, and so therefore I'd rather just put all these rails down in place, break 3 of them that are in the middle, and then place my redstone block in and do that later. And I have a screenshot of all that laid out for you, which I'll go ahead and display on the screen once we actually get this in place. Now here's the thing, is that we have these water sources that are going to be going into the farm, which are going to mess things up a little bit. Now this water source that we have represented here with this sea lantern needs to be here, and it also needs to be held up in order to make sure that it doesn't wipe out our rails. Now what we're going to do to make sure that doesn't happen is we're going to knock these 3 blocks out right here. Alright, so now we're going to go beneath the farm. In survival mode, you would have to build some type of scaffolding. This is totally possible. It's not very hard. You're going to go ahead and put a trap door. It could be iron or wooden, doesn't matter. You're going to put a trap door on the bottom of that, of the sea lantern right there. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put 3 blocks in like this. We're going to put 1 wood block, a redstone block, and then a regular wood block just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to come back up and place that wood block in from above, just like there, and we're going to put in powered rails all beneath there, okay? Then we're going to go ahead and continue back with our regular rails and bring this back and forth just like so until we reach the next sea lanterns, and we're going to do that to every single one on the entire farm. Also, as a quick side note, when you're placing in the rails, the water sources that are right here next to the farm, you will not need to do that 3-block indentation system like you're doing there, but you will still need to place in that wooden trap door. You will need to do that still, just like that, and then you can go ahead and place that block back and put that rail in place. So that's the only thing that you need to do there. You don't need to go down and back up like that. You just need to make sure that you have a trap door right there. So we're going to go ahead and do that to this one as well, just like that. There we go. And where's that trapdoor at? There we go. Oop, not there, but there we are. Alright, we're going to put that wood block back, and now as you can see, we're going to go ahead and come across here with our rails right into that like so, and we're just going to turn around like this without any interruption. Alright, so we're almost nearing the end of this one leg, and as you can see on this other block right here, we are going to have to dip underneath that one as well, just like we did the one earlier. Now, as we're reaching the end, what we're going to do is we're going to just keep on winding this back and forth, except on the very last one, we're going to put a redstone block, just like so. We're going to put a redstone block right there, and actually let's go ahead and do this. We're going to place one block there, like that, and then place a redstone block there like that, and then a powered rail on top of that one, just like that. Now if we were to take a minecart rail, let's go ahead and take a minecart hopper there. If we put that on there, it should make its way all the way to the end with no mistakes. It should be able to go all the way through, except for the fact that we don't actually have our powered rails in yet, so that's going to be an issue, which I don't know, this thing keeps on going. This thing keeps on going. It's like the Energizer battery. But it will stop because we actually do need to get our rails, our powered rails in place. So that was a little bit early, but nonetheless, as you can see, we do have that rail system all done. So now what we need to do is we actually need to figure out where the middle of each rail is and go ahead and knock out those blocks, put in powered rails and some redstone blocks. So as you can see, I've started on placing in the redstone blocks and wiping out just a few rails to the side. Now, as you can see, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to figure out where the middle of the rail is. Now, you can eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to have to do it exactly the way I'm laying it out. What you're going to do, though, is you're going to look at this one rail right here, and this looks right about like the middle there. Go ahead and take another look at it. See, that does look pretty centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that block out, break these two rails to the side, and get ready for powered rails in between. And same thing goes for this one. Let's see if that looks like the middle. No, this one's more like the middle, isn't it? Yes, that's more the middle, so that's where the redstone block is going to go, and we're going to leave that one out like that. And pretty much that can be the same for these guys over here, just like this here. I'll go ahead and do the rest of these on camera for you, so you kind of have an idea of what's going on. So I think the rest of this is all centered up right here. So we're going to go ahead and take the rest of this right here, take these 4 blocks out like this, and place all these in, and then knock out these rails over here to the left and right of these. Alright, and then like I said, we're going to break out our powered rails and just go ahead and connect everything back up, just like so. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that for the rest of the farm, and I'll catch you guys when I get that all done for all 4 legs. So, you might have found out by now that if you start placing the rails like this problem does occur, where they want to link up and they don't want to go in the direction that you want them to. So, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to break both of these, go ahead and place that one black, and then we can go ahead and replace that one as well. Now we're going to go ahead and continue this. I'll go ahead and do a few more of these on camera so you can see what happens. Now this one is going to link to this powered rail right there, just like that, which is what we don't want it to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here like this, break these two, put that one back in place, and then replace the rail right there. And as you can see, that one there also didn't do what we wanted it to do, so we're gonna have to connect one side first, just to give you guys a little bit of you know, a little insight of what to do when the rails don't do what you want them to. So, and again, that one there being a pain in the butt. There we go. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and continue with this. There we go. Alright, so it's really not that bad. Some of the rails are going to mix up on you, but it's not too bad. You just watched me connect the rest of all these, and we had just about every problem that you could pretty much imagine. The rails are just going to turn one direction, and you're going to have to figure out how to make them do what you want them to do, and that's pretty much it. So, if I run into anything else while I'm doing these other 3 legs, I will go ahead and let you guys know how to solve that problem. Alright, so I am almost done. I've got all 3 legs except for one just done, which I figured I'd leave uncovered in case you guys did want to duplicate the layout that I have. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pause right here, go ahead and pause the screen and lay out the redstone blocks the way that I have them laid out. That way you guys can go ahead and do that really easily. So once you guys are done doing that, go ahead and finish up all the rails. Alright, so now that all your rails are all in place, everything's good to go, you have all the dips beneath the water sources that you're going to need to have. One thing that we're going to do before we move on is actually reiterate how we have these hoppers right here. This is the way that I did it in the first design. What we're going to do here is we're going to actually change up how we did some of these here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove all the rails in a 3x3 area around this thing. We're going to go ahead and break all these guys up. Sorry, I actually forgot to do this in the very first one. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go ahead and take a block here. You're going to go up like that on that corner. Doesn't matter which corner, you can go on any corner, and that one hopper will be facing down. All the other ones will be ringing around right into it, so we're going to go ahead and go like this, crouch place hoppers into that corner, just like so. Just like that. There we go. And then we're going to come around on this side. You can have them looping around as long as they all go to that one corner. Doesn't matter how they get there. Then you can go ahead and place these all back. Let's go ahead and put these in place here. There we go. We can also break that block. That block doesn't need to be there because that's where our rail goes. And let's see here. We're going to have to put some of these rails here. So let's go ahead and go like that. There we go. Alright, and then let's see if that guy will do it for us. Let's see if that one will do it for us. Nope, so let's go ahead and place that guy again. There we go. Just like that. So you might have some troubles placing these rails in place, but most of the time it's actually not too bad. Once you get the hang of it, it's really not that bad at all. Whatever one it goes to, you just gotta break that one and then replace it afterwards. So there we go. Alright, so once you have that hopper configuration all in place, go ahead and move on to the next step. If you haven't built this yet and you're just watching it and not really building it as we go along, go ahead and make note of this section. Make sure you do this before you get this far, because that was a little mistake on my behalf, but nonetheless, we are ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so once you've fixed your hoppers and you've got your rails all in place like so, you're going to come down here to the center and you're going to place in your minecart hoppers just like this. You're going to place one on every rail, just like that. There we go. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and start placing dirt within the entire farm. Go ahead and cover everything with dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and place all this dirt into the entire X right here, and I will catch you guys when I finish that up. So, once you've got your dirt all put in place like this, next step is to actually put your water in place, because we're going to get ready to till all this dirt up and get ready to put our seeds in. So you're going to come down here and break these sea lanterns that we have. We're just going to go ahead and break those out and put the water in place. And as you can see, the trapdoor beneath that holds the water in there nice and well to keep our railways down there protected from flooding. As you guys know, water and railways do not work together very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just fill all these guys up and then get ready to till this dirt. And so yeah, that's what... Oh, shoot, what's going to happen now? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, when that happens, you just got to go down and do it all over again. So, that ended up being a pretty big mistake on my behalf. But nonetheless, that might happen to you, which if it does happen, you're going to have to remove the dirt and replace all the rails just as you had them. So, just to give you guys a little insight of what can happen while you're building this farm. So, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my dirt in place and get the rest of my water in place once I've done that, and catch you guys when we're ready to move on with the tutorial. Okay, so now that we've got all that situated, if your farm's looking like mine, where you've got all your dirt down and your water in place, it is now time to cover your water. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to any corner, and you're going to go ahead and use 2 blocks to go ahead and cover each water source, just like that. And I suggest using a block that does provide light, as that's a good way to keep your farm lit. So you can use any block of your choice. It doesn't have to be sea lanterns. It can be glowstone. It can be even a block that doesn't provide light. I just giving you that for a suggestion. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this whole farm with these prismarine lanterns over the water. Alright, so once you have all of your water sources covered with your block of choice, it is now time to go ahead and grab your hoe, and we're going to go ahead and start tilling all of this dirt. It doesn't have to be a diamond hoe like the one that I'm using. It's just the fact that I'm in creative mode. I can use cool things like this, but I don't recommend wasting your diamonds on a hoe, either in this game or in real life. So, point is, just go ahead and start tilling up all this dirt and get ready for some crops. Alright, so now that your farm is all tilled up, it is time to go ahead and start planting your seeds. And there might be a few things that you might notice. You might notice that these blocks right here, as you can see, these blocks are actually not hydrated. They're more than 4 blocks away from any water source, and these are the only 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are non-hydrated within the farm. But it is not a big deal. It's really not. All you need to do is actually just till the dirt and place a seed right on top of it, and it'll stay hydrated. And when that grows and the villager actually does come here and pick it, he will go ahead and plant another seed, allowing it not to have a chance to become unhydrated again. So even though that's the only one, we're just going to go ahead and till it anyway, and go ahead and put seeds on top of all these. And then next step, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put seeds on top of the entire farm. Now you can use wheat, carrots, or potatoes. I'm going to be using wheat because this farm design is specifically driven for wheat, because of the fact that wheat does take time to grow up, and if you don't wait till it grows up, it doesn't produce wheat, it produces seeds. Carrots and potatoes, however, if you can harvest those before they're fully grown, and they will always give you carrots and potatoes. They will never give you seeds for carrots and potatoes, because there's no such thing. So that's the reason why this farm is directed towards wheat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and continue on placing wheat seeds in the entire farm. Once you plant all your seeds, your farm should be looking something like this. Mine are a little bit more grown because I did go to lunch and now I've come back, and as you can see, they've grown up a little bit. So, but yours might be looking a little bit younger, and that's okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this center area and knock out these 2 blocks. Now I know we put water here earlier, but we're going to go ahead and take that water out. We're going to go ahead and just take it out. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and break this block too, and we're going to go down in between all of our minecarts here. Be very, very careful not to move any of them. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to place a block, and we're going to be using this brown terracotta. So this is what we're going to be using. Now what we're going to do is we're going to need to place a redstone torch right here. So the issue with that is that all these hoppers that go around stop you from doing it, so you're going to have to place that block, come back up here, place this redstone torch in, just like so. There we go, and then a block on top of that. Let's see if we can get that wood block back on top of there, just like so. And now you can place your water back in. There we go. Alright, and then we can actually go ahead and put our blocks back on top too. There we go, just like that. Till this dirt back and put our seeds back. There we go. Nice. Alright, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go down beneath here, and we're going to continue working on this. So what we're going to do here is, let's see if we can get rid of these guys. We don't need those guys. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and bring this pillar all the way down to the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break every other block in this pillar and put a redstone torch on it. It's making a redstone torch tower. So I believe if we start here, let's see, let's get the redstone torches in my inventory. Let's go ahead and place a redstone torch there, and then again right here. There we go. Alright, so that should create us a nice little torch tower just like that, nice and easy. So once you've done that, go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, so once you've put this torch tower in place, it is now time to move on to the next step, which is powering this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come over here to these hoppers. Now, you're going to pay attention to which hopper you have pointing straight down. This is going to be where your storage input is, and that's what we don't want to mess with. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and stay out of the way of that. We're going to build this on the opposite side, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start things out by putting a repeater right into that block, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a block right behind that repeater and a sticky piston facing into that block, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put redstone right here, and actually, let's see, let's go ahead and get like that. We're going to put redstone right here, and right here, and we're going to put repeaters just like this. And this one you're going to set to 4 ticks. Alright, and then this one right here, we're actually going to put a redstone block just like that. 2 sticky pistons facing in both directions just like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break this block and put redstone right there. There we go. And then place a block on the side of that one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a comparator on these 2 right here. Let's go ahead and get these all set up. Just like that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to take comparators and go just like that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take our hoppers, crouch place these into each other, just like so. There we go. All right, and then we're going to take 2.5 stacks of items. So let's go ahead and get our half a stack, and then our 2 stacks. Let's go ahead and get that in there. 2 stacks of stone. There we go. All right, and that's going to simulate 1 hopper emptying completely, all five slots. And 2.5 stacks times 2 is 5 slots. So there's the chance for any of these hoppers to completely unload, especially since we have 4 unloading at once coming into 1 hopper. It's very possible that we have that many items flowing into the system. So this should allow enough time to actually let each minecart unload and also go collect more items before they despawn. So that should all work out there. So once you've got this built, go ahead and move on to the next step. And one thing I almost forgot is my favorite thing to do is put something on top of these hoppers right here. There we go. Alright, and as you guys know, that's just furnaces. Not a big deal. So, once you've built this little hopper clock here going into your torch tower, it is now time to get your hoppers leading all in the same place. So as you can see, we've got hoppers here in the middle, and we've got hoppers on all 4 sides coming from each module, and we need to bring them all into one central location. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and start things up here on the torch tower. We go ahead and jump here. We're going to place 2 temporary blocks on all 4 sides of this torch right here, of this block right here. So we're going to go ahead and come out 2 blocks on all sides, just like so. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to crouch place each hopper into itself all the way back to the farm. So we're going to do this for all 4, and I'll catch you when I get that done for all of these. Alright, so once your hoppers are all looking like this, you are now ready to continue bringing all these hoppers into one central location. And as you can see, I've put furnaces on top of every single hopper, so just my little favorite thing to do. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's a good habit to get into. It not only stops a check update from the hoppers, but it also stops unwanted items from falling in your hoppers. And in order to do that, it has to be an empty container of some sort. So I have a furnace up there, it's really cheap and easy to make, and it stops a check update because it's an empty container, and because it is a block, it stops any unwanted items from going in. So that's a little pro tip there. Again, I'm just reiterating that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come over here and break all of our temporary blocks. We no longer need these, so we're going to get rid of all these guys, okay, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this corner right here. We're going to go ahead and crouch place some blocks coming down from there, just like that, and then we need to bring those to the same elevation. Okay, so we're actually going to hold off on that one. We need to bring this down to just 1 hopper short of being at this level. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start at this level, and we need to bring these down. Let me go ahead and get this right here. We need to come down, was that 2 blocks? I believe, and then we're going to go ahead and place a hopper coming straight down. That's going to be our leading hopper right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a half circle. We're going to go ahead and connect this bunch, and we're going to connect this bunch right here, and that's it. Okay, now for the other side, we're going to go over here like this, and go ahead and go like that, and 1 more, and then we're going to go ahead and tie it up to here, and that's done. All right, so that's how you do that. That's really easy, really nice and easy to do. And then over here with this one, you just come right over here and crouch place that right into the side, just like that. Now we have all 5 hopper streams coming right into this hopper right here. So the next thing we need to do is actually separate the items. So once your hoppers are looking like that, go ahead and move on to the next step. And once again, don't forget to place your empty containers on top of your hoppers. Alright, so we are almost done with this farm. All that's left is the actual storage system. Now, one of the things you should be looking for at this time isn't this at all. You should be listening for your minecarts, making sure that this timer right here is sending them off and on. As long as you can hear them rolling around every once in a while when this thing goes off, you should be good. Go ahead and take a peek up here, and as long as you hear them rolling around and you go back and you see that all of them are still rolling around and they all come back into one spot, you should be good. So we know that my farm's good because we literally just watched those go right back into place. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start things off with some temporary blocks. We're going to go ahead and crouch place some blocks right into there, and we're going to come out by 5 blocks. It doesn't have to be 5, I'm just saying 5 just for the tutorial. And what we're going to do is we're going to even break this hopper right here, and we're going to have them all facing in this direction. That one's not going to be facing down unless you guys want it to be. You guys can go ahead and bring this hopper line anywhere you guys want to. One thing about this storage system is that it doesn't have to be the way I'm designing it right here. I'm literally just going to create a small storage system to show you guys how this farm works, and then I'm going to go ahead and build a dispenser that goes ahead and dispenses the unwanted items into lava. Now you guys are more than welcome to save these items, do whatever you want with them. The storage system is completely up to you, completely customizable. But what we're going to do at least right here is we're going to go ahead and come down by one block. We're going to crouch place a block right there. Go ahead and break that block. We're going to come over here and place a hopper going into that block. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come down one more block, break that one on top. We're going to come up here and we're going to place a comparator in. We're going to place a comparator right there, come out another block, and then we're going to come out one more, place one down below that one, and break that one right there. Come down here on the ground, place one right there, and go ahead and build another one up just like that, and put a torch on that face and a repeater behind that one, and 2 dots of redstone at the top up here. Let me go ahead and climb up here. There we go. Alright, now what we need to do is we actually need to turn this thing into an item sorter. Now how we do that is with this build right here, we're going to go ahead and take 2 wheat, just like that, and we're going to go ahead and put 5 more in each slot. Just like this. And I just messed up already. Let's see here, let's go ahead and go like this here. There we go, just to make it nice and neat. So this hopper right here will only suck up wheat. That's the only thing it will ever suck up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put a temporary block right there. We're going to go ahead and grab a couple chests here. We're going to go ahead and put a chest right here. We have to crouch place this one right into it, just like that. Go ahead and break that block and crouch place again a hopper into the back of that one. So there is our storage all done. Now over here is going to be the area in which we go ahead and destroy the items that we don't want. So once you've got this done, go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, so once you have this item sorter in place, you are now ready to build your item disposal system. Now again guys, I will let you guys know, this is completely customizable. It doesn't have to be right where my item sorter is, and the item disposal system does not have to be there either. No matter what, it will have to come off this hopper line at some point. So I'm just going to do it here right and quick, nice and easy for the tutorial. But remember, you guys can put this anywhere. You can put it below the farm, you can put it out to the side, anywhere you guys like. So knowing that, let's go ahead and move forward. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my item disposal system right here. So I'm going to flip that hopper pointing straight down and put a dropper on its face just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some glass on the outside of this guy just like so, because I want to be able to see my items getting destroyed as I'm collecting my wheat. And so what we're going to do is build a little chamber just like so, and then put lava down at the bottom. Let's go ahead and put our lava down there right now. There we go, and then continue to put these blocks in place just like that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and break these temporary blocks up here. These were just to get the pillars started. Now we have our item disposal chamber in there. So now what we need to do is we actually need to build the device that's actually going to empty this dropper when it has items in it. And there's 2 ways to do that. I'll go ahead and show you both ways. The first way that I know how to do it is go ahead and place a block right there and another block right there. What we're going to do is we're going to put a comparator on that just like that and put it into subtract mode. That comparator is going to have a block on its face just like that with another block on this side just like that. We're going to go ahead and put redstone on top of that one and put a block up just like this with another block over here with a repeater coming out of that block just like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 more blocks just like so and another block right here and put redstone on these 2 bits right here. Now that system will empty itself completely. No items will actually be left in this hopper at any time, but the only issue is that it does empty itself out a little bit slower. As you can see, it empties itself out about once every second or so. But it does empty the entire dropper right here. It gets rid of every single item in the system. Now the other way to build it that's a little bit more resource light is like this. Let's go ahead and change this up. We're going to go ahead and keep the same exact system that we have. In fact, we're going to go ahead and keep that there too. What we're going to do is we're just going to come out 2 more blocks and put redstone right there. That's it. That's how you do that. But the only issue is that you're going to have more than just a few items to make that thing pulse, because as you can see, it's not even working yet. Not even working yet. But if we put more in, it should work. Let's see what's going on here. Nope, we're gonna have to have just even a little bit more. That's the issue with this one, is that even if you have all that, let's go ahead and see. Is that gonna work? Wow, you need a lot of items in there. Let's go ahead and put some of those in there. There we go. But you can see how much faster that one goes. This one gets rid of the items really, really quickly, but no matter what, you're always going to be left with some in the system, no matter what you do. So now it's done, because, and the issue with that is that this system right here, unless it reaches that, it's not going to do anything. So that's just the nature of this system, and unless it does that, that's what you're stuck with. So you, like I said, you guys can choose any system you want. It doesn't matter. Again, I'll go ahead and rebuild this one here for you guys really quick, just in case you guys don't like this one. I understand that some of you guys might actually want your dropper to empty completely. So again, if you want to do this, you go ahead and just put redstone right there, take that one out, and put a repeater right there. That's how you do that, and that's as easy as it gets. So, and then that way all your items will be emptied, so that thing will go ahead and empty out every single item that's in that dropper. But that's pretty much that, guys. The storage system is all done. So as done as this farm seems, well, I know that we're not done just yet. We still have a few more things to do, because we don't have our villager in here yet, and plus we don't have any walls in. So once you go ahead and finish this item disposal system, go ahead and move on to the next step. By this time, your farm should be fully grown. All your wheat should be ready to be harvested and be begging for a villager to go in there and harvest it all. So, to get things started, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a border around this farm, which is going to contain the villager. Now, you're going to go ahead and build at least a 2-high wall of glass, or any block of your choice. I prefer glass because I like to be able to see in, and it must be at least 2 blocks tall. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 2-block tall glass wall around the entire farm, and I'll catch you when I'm done with that. Alright, so I've got all my glass in place now. So, there's no way a villager could ever get out of here. And just as a side note, I'm going to go over this really quickly. I see a lot of tutorials that leave these blocks out. Now, yes, no villager can ever get out of here. But a zombie can come up in this little corner, and if the zombie and the villager have to be in the same corner at the same time, he will get attacked. He will be able to get attacked through that little corner, so I suggest you go ahead and fill in all your corners. Anything to do with villagers, always make sure to have full corners. Never leave them open. Always make sure they're completely full. So, once you have this border around your farm like this, where no villagers can get out, the next step is to actually get a villager in here. Now, what type of villager are you going to need? You are going to need a brown coat villager. I've already got myself one right here, as you can see, and what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to give him 8 stacks of whatever plant you're actually planting. In my case, wheat. So I'm going to be giving him 8 stacks of seeds in order to start planting. Now, the reason why we need to do this is because we really don't want him to pick up any wheat, but no matter what, this farm, they are going to pick up wheat. It's inevitable, and this farm is capable of having 2 villagers, so it actually operates very well on 2 villagers, and that's fine, because the villagers will throw the bread at each other. They will make it and throw it at each other and get rid of the items in their inventory, be able to make space for more seeds. So it's really not an issue at all. A lot of the other tutorials have 1 villager, and in that case, if he does start to pick up wheat, he will not have another villager to throw the bread to, and will fill up and the farm will break. So that is one of the reasons why this one is a little bit better than the other ones. So the fact that villagers can actually intermingle and work together and be able to keep their inventories open. So what we're going to do with this guy is we're going to go ahead and go into this mode right here and get 8 stacks of seeds. So let's go ahead and get 8 stacks just like that, and let's go ahead and throw them to him. Okay, I'm going to throw all these stacks of seeds right at him. Alright, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and test this out really quick. What I like to do is I like to get 1 more stack of seeds and just throw one at him. And now if you see that seed right there not getting collected or anything, you know that he can't collect any more items, so he's good to go. So let's go ahead and break the glass and let him start farming. So in just in a second, he'll go ahead and take off. There he goes already. And let's see here, let me go ahead and get some glass. Where's the glass at? Glass is right here, I believe. There we go. Alright, let me go ahead and get some glass and fill this back up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and watch this villager for a little bit and wait till he gets to come over there and start planting the farm. And while we're waiting for our villager to go over there and plant our farm, I thought I'd come over here and give you guys some building suggestions. You guys don't have to build your farm like this. I chose to do it like this just because it looks nice. But you guys are more than welcome to decorate it any way you want. As you can see, I've done some decoration here. You're more than welcome to fill in the sides because I've actually got another farm over here that I've completely built. This is the very first one I built in this whole mess of trying to figure out this farm. So, but this is the first one I built, which I like these lights, but you know, you guys can add them. You guys can add them if you want. There's always ways to do that, and it's just not necessary, so I'm not gonna bother going through the tutorial with that. But yeah, this is my decoration around the farm. I'm not gonna bother going to do a tutorial on how to decorate the farm because we're already running pretty long. This thing is a pretty big big beast right here. So, but let's go ahead and go back over to the other farm and let's see if our villagers have started planting. Look, guys, they're starting to plant the farm. This is awesome. So, it's taken them long enough. They've pretty much planted the entire farm before they actually came over here and got ready to plant this empty farmland over here. So, this is so cool. But as you can see, they do trip the tripwire as they go back and forth planting the farm. So, this will allow them enough time to go ahead and get out of the farm and replant the whole thing before it goes back under lockdown mode. Oh, I'm so excited. Let's go see how much items we've actually got because these guys have just farm this entire farm all in about 20 minutes. I've been waiting about 20 minutes for them to actually do that. Let's go take a look at what we got because this is the entire farm harvested. Let's see. Wow, we got 12 and a half stacks exactly. 12 and a half stacks. Oh my gosh. This thing is completely OP. Oh my gosh. That's exactly why I wanted these minecart rails in here because this style of farm is really efficient when it's working. It's just the fact that it's extremely undependable because you guys know how minecarts are. They stop all the time. They disappear. As long as they don't do that, it's a good way to do the farm, but in my experiences, I've had bad luck with them. So, in fusing both of these styles of farms, you can't go wrong. You have dependable and you have efficient. So, I'm really happy that this farm went well, and I hope that you guys enjoy your farm. And as always, please remember to smash that like button, and please subscribe if you really liked it. And as always, please remember to share this video with all your friends. I'm sure they're going to want to get their hands on this extremely OP farm. But thanks again, guys. I hope you guys did like my X Factor wheat farm tutorial, and I'm Broken Bones, and I will see you guys next time.